in Sudan's history. Ancient Egypt, land of great pyramids, stunning artwork, commanding pharaohs, and powerful empires. Egypt, above all ancient civilizations, has captured our fancy with its spectacular iconography and cultural charisma. But even as the ancient Egyptians proclaimed their power to the world, they buried a shocking secret about their reign. They erased from history the story of a subordinate kingdom from the south that rose up, overthrew their masters, and ruled as pharaohs of Egypt themselves. These conquerors were the Kushites, a civilization of builders, gold workers, and warriors from what is now Sudan.
The fact that Kush was able to conquer Egypt is really a David and Goliath story.
Yet today, Kushites have been all but forgotten. Why? Because of the color of their skin. These were dark-skinned Africans, vilified by the ancient Egyptians and slandered as savages by colonial-era archaeologists.
They show them as people tied and bound on the bottom of the king's shoes.
So it really was a kind of a racial profiling.
Now, after centuries of derision, the incredible story of the Kushite uprising is finally coming to light. More enlightened archaeologists are digging their history from the sand and the sky.
How does it look? Still intact?
It's actually a tiny bit scary. Don't drag that rope!
Science is revealing the inside story of the Black Pharaohs who brought Egypt to its knees.
This program was made possible in part by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
This is the Royal Kush Cemetery of El Kuru in northern Sudan, the Kush answer to Egypt's Valley of the Kings. Many rulers of Kush were buried here, making it one of the few places to learn about their lives and how they managed to conquer Egypt. That's what attracted archaeologist Jeff Emberlin. At a pyramid called Ku-1, Jeff's team is moving 50 tons of earth to expose a royal tomb beneath. Inside, they hope to discover the identity of the king who built the pyramid and his place in the Kushite world.
We want, first of all, to find out the name of the king. And second of all, we would hope that there would be additional information in material left in the pyramid about where they fit in history over 2,000 years ago.
The Kushites left few written records, and most of their tombs and temples have been destroyed. Ku-1 is no exception. Before harsh weather and stone thieves got to it, the pyramid stood nearly 4 times its current height. This worn-down giant comes with a checkered past. About 100 years ago, American archaeologist George Reisner excavated many Kush monuments. and discovered the tombs of its most important kings.
George Reisner was an amazing pioneer of archaeology in Kush. He started in 1908, he worked into the 1930s, very difficult conditions, and yet he managed to establish a basic chronology, not only of the broad archaeological periods, but of all the kings of Kush. He put them all into order, and it's an order that we still basically use today.
At El Kuru, Reisner got to the bottom of every pyramid, except Ku-1. There, fear got the better of him. The ceiling of the pyramid had collapsed, locking its secrets inside. Having just lost 5 men in a cave-in nearby, Reisner went home. Sometimes Jeff Emberling has thought of doing the same.
When you read Reisner's notes from his excavations at El Kuru, at the end of the season, he took about 2 weeks off. And he has a little note that the doctor told him he had to stop worrying so much. And I can kind of appreciate this now, even just excavating one of the pyramids, because there's inherent risk. There's no such thing as no risk.
Of course, without risk, there's no reward. And as Reisner discovered at other royal burial sites, the payoff can be staggering. Reisner recovered troves of gold jewelry and stunning artifacts. Intricate masterpieces buried with the Kushite kings to enrich them in the afterlife.
As an archaeologist, your dreams are often quite vivid about what you can find in a place. And so obviously these king's burials were once extremely rich with gold and silver objects and finely crafted, beautiful expressions of their religious sentiments as well as their status and prestige. So we could imagine finding all of those things.
Jeff's first big revelation is not gold treasure, but a giant staircase, one fit for a king-size funeral procession. But it's a smaller feature that grabs his attention.
You can see that this staircase is really monumental. They've dug down through the solid rock to a depth of over 25 feet. And you can see just at the bottom there, the original doorway, and above it, an irregular hole that's almost the same height. That irregular hole was dug by looters.
Jeff believes it was an inside job.
Most people would not know that if you dug through the rock, that there would be an open chamber that high up. It's over 15 feet off the original ground surface. But unusually in this pyramid, the inner chamber is huge and high. And so it was only the people who built that would have known that digging over the doorway, they'd break into the open space of the chamber itself.
The question is, how far in did the looters get? And what did they leave behind? Jeff will soon find out. Already, he's excavated to the site of the cave-in that had blocked Reisner's path.
We're in the second room of the pyramid, but actually we're not in the room because its ceiling has entirely collapsed. And so we're standing in the hole covering whatever was below. I have a secret theory that really what happened is the looters burrowed in here, and as they were digging, the ceiling collapsed on them.
Jeff's taking precautions to ensure he and his team don't become the tomb's next victims. At a makeshift workshop, his colleague, architect Ignacio Forcadell, builds life-saving iron supports.
Inside. In the second chamber, which is the deepest one, there's some